I'm guessing they'll be annoying plenty of people. Let's begin. Now, as everyone is technically forced to pay the TV licence if they want to watch the BBC or any other TV channels live, then theoretically they should be showing programmes that everyone, or the majority rather, wants to see at one time or another. However, it seems that they've changed their minds because they're axing something which has been on TV for 57 years, and therefore plenty of people would have actually wanted to watch it, wouldn't they, if this story is anything to go by. The article says that the BBC has reportedly cancelled Top of the Pops Christmas special after it has graced our screens for nearly 6 decades. The original music chart television programme started broadcasting weekly in 1964 and has been the world's longest running weekly music show. However, TV bosses decided to give the beloved show, which saw performances from the world's biggest artists, the chop in 2006, and instead it became an annual special during the festive period. A source told The Sun, B bosses felt the cost involved creating a one-off show like this were too high to justify. Yeah, I'm guessing they don't think that their TV licence cost is too high to justify, which, from what I've heard, brings them in around £3.4 billion every year. So how can the cost of making one programme at one time of the year cost too much? I mean, there are people bound to want to watch it. I mean, I personally don't myself, but there will be plenty of people who do. And what about a lot of other programmes that they tend to make, like Mrs. Brown's Boys? I mean, I don't know who really actually likes watching that, but they still pump that out quite a lot of the time, every year it seems. And in fact, the last thing I heard, they're actually making another series of that rather than cancelling it. So I think it might do them good to have a little rethink here, especially nowadays when a lot of people seem to be jumping ship from the TV licence and actually watch a lot of streaming services instead, like Netflix and Now TV, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, and any other number of ones that are going to come out before the TV licence hopefully gets cancelled in 2027. No doubt, of course, the BBC probably says that cancelling programmes like Top of the Pops Christmas special is changing with the times after it being on TV for so long. However, surely they need to think a little bit further at home and cancel their TV licence, which has also been around for 100 years. That would be changing with the times, wouldn't it? So go ahead, BBC, cancel it, but not programmes that people may actually want to watch, especially when you're still, as far as I'm aware, raking in billions of pounds. Why not instead lower star salaries like Gary Lineker, who is reportedly on over £1 million a year? However, apparently the BBC still has a bumper lineup, including a Christmas special with Cliff Richard, wow, Mrs. Brown's Boys, alongside Call the Midwife and EastEnders, just to name a few. So, obviously I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there are food programmes out of that which could also be cancelled to save themselves some money, or actually, hang on, heaven forbid, save people £1 or £2 on their TV licence fee. Now, I think that would be quite a good idea. But actually, while we're on the subject, another thing that also needs to be cut, well, in my opinion anyway, is the House of Lords. I mean, they seem to be blown out of all proportion, don't they, with their 768 members, I think it is, and often tend to poke their nose in at the most annoying of times, especially with Brexit, if I remember rightly. But the good news is that people seem to prefer Nigel Farage's plan, if this next story is anything to go by. It just makes me wonder what those so-called Lords think about it.
Oh, I think we'll be quite fine. Tibble, help, quickly!
Well, I heard recently that if you click that subscribe button down there, then it's about the same as raising a giant middle finger to them, so why not give it a push? An exclusive new poll has revealed that voters in the UK are prepared to accept a massive overhaul in British establishment in a dramatic equivalent to the Brexit revolution. According to Redfield and Wilton poll, 54% of voters want proportional representation to be introduced for the House of Commons, while 51% believe the unelected peers in the House of Lords should be ejected. The results come in after Richard Tice's Reform Party announced that it was backing electoral reform to break the stranglehold on the system of the Conservatives and Labour. The plans originated from the party's previous incarnation of the Brexit Party when it was led by Nigel Farage, who has also taken to social media to call for change. Mr Tice and Mr Farage believe that their party can make a significant breakthrough if the constituency-based first-past-the-post system, which favours the Conservatives and Labour, is abolished. Well, of course I don't know about you, but to be honest, in this day and age, I think it's a bit ridiculous that it's still going along with the first-past-the-post system. Surely, if anything, with all the woke agenda going on, it should be one man, one vote. Oh, actually, no. One person or one human or one whatever the vote, rather than based on constituencies. Because otherwise, I can't really see any other way how other parties, apart from the main two, or maybe three if you count the Liberal Democrats in a coalition, can actually break through. And therefore, of course, we're only stuck with Labour or Conservatives, which, to be honest, many people probably don't want anymore. I mean, let's face it, they don't really want Labour in, but with the way the Conservatives have been lately, they don't really want them either. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure there was a time in the early 1900s when the Liberal Democrats, or Liberals I think they were back then, were actually big before Labour come along, and I guess there is a very slim chance that one day, hopefully, that may happen again. Like it seems to have done not so long ago with the SNP in Scotland, because I'm pretty sure that once upon a time not too long ago they were quite small, weren't they? But now they tend to run the whole of Scotland, don't they? I mean, fair enough, they may run it down to the ground, I've heard, but they still run it, or their version of that is. According to the Redfield and Woolton poll of 1,500 voters, 54% agree with Reform UK that proportional representation needs to be introduced. The idea is also backed by the Greens and the Lib Dems. Meanwhile, 34% want the Lords replaced with an elected chamber or Senate, whilst almost 1 in 5, 18%, just want it scrapped altogether. The overall total of 51% reflects anger at the left-leaning peers who used their Remainer majority to try to thwart Brexit and have tried to block immigration and legal reforms to tackle climate change protesters put forward by the Conservative government, which kind of means that they're actually going against the public with what we voted for in certain things, including Brexit. So what's the point in them if they're not going to carry out the public's wishes or serve them to do so? Speaking of which, last but not least, I'm going to tell you about something rather frustrating that I found out about the specific few people who are also meant to serve the public. I mean, nowadays you probably see them making cups of tea for the protesters while they let them rip down statues. And of course, I am talking about the police. Although admittedly, when they are fighting crime, apart from a few bell-ends on the force, they generally tend to do a mostly good job, for which, as far as I'm aware, they're paid quite a good wage. But somehow they are exclusively entitled to something which surely they wouldn't need, but the poor definitely do, if this story is anything to go by. A food bank is being launched today, but just for cops. The City of London Police Federation branch will help officers who face exorbitant accommodation and travel costs despite a 1,900 national pay rise this year. The food bank in Bishopsgate is for officers and staff only. A spokesman said, "We're aware the City of London Police Federation is opening a food bank and we understand our officers and staff, like many people, can be affected by financial strain." And of course, no one is doubting that. I mean, we're in a cost of living crisis, aren't we? Especially energy bills that are going on at the moment. I mean, everyone will soon start needing a mortgage to pay them if it carries on going the way it is. In my opinion anyway, but obviously the police gets their money from the council or the government, doesn't it? And therefore that's our tax at the end of the day. So whilst it's good that they actually do want to help their officers out, I'm pretty sure that that's not what the money's actually for. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it meant to be fighting crime or help to solve crime in some sort of way? And obviously pay their wages, of course, which, as the article said, have gone up. So to be honest, I don't think it would be unfair to say, or think maybe, that they're probably in a bit better position than someone who is working a part-time job in somewhere like Asda or Tesco's or somewhere like that. And also thinking about it, if they are in a desperate situation and are struggling and times do get hard for them, as they do for many people, then couldn't they just go to a standard normal public food bank? Not forgetting, of course, there is also other help out there that the government is doing with their energy grants and things like that, which hopefully they'd probably be able to claim as well, rather than being entitled to their dedicated food bank. Recognising the impact of the cost of living on everyone, we've run sessions on financial well-being to help our staff manage their financial affairs and promote discount and benefit schemes. The City of London Corporation provides the Employee Assistance Programme supported by Health Assured, which provides support for all staff and officers, including on legal, financial and practical issues. We are and will continue to do all we can to support our staff and officers affected by financial challenges. And of course, while it is good that they do care about their employees, which all businesses and organisations should do, it seems that in this video that MPs have taken this to say a step further and have gone way too far in my opinion with what they can now claim for. Anyway, subscribe for more and I'll see you in the next one.